Maren Morris.
Maren, my question is, when you have to pick a new single, because you write songs, you hear songs all the time, what is that process like for you and for the people that you're close to pick a song that you're already so close to for everybody else to hear?
Honestly, the fans sort of choose for me now at shows. Like, I just kind of gauge the volume of the crowd each song, and especially on new ones. That's kind of how we chose The Bones, because that didn't feel like a single to me at first, and then in the shows it just became like a moment with the fans. So honestly, they kind of help me choose now, which is nice.
Do you ever ask, were they really loud, that song? Because if you have ears in, because sometimes if you're listening to the show now, you'll see an artist take something out of their ear. And most of the time, it's hard to hear the crowd if the ears are in because you're hearing all the instruments, right?
Right.
Do you ever go, okay, which song were they the loudest because I couldn't hear? Do you have people that will lead you in, or are they just so loud for certain songs?
We have crowd mics, so I will hear the crowd noise in my ears, which is nice, because it can be really isolating with in-ears. But yeah, I can actually hear the crowd, and sometimes a little too well. Like the other night,
hey John, give me a beer. She hears like people talking in the crowd.
Oh my God, someone was so drunk, which like, come to the show, have fun, but they were right next to the crowd mic and were so loud in my ear. They obviously didn't know there was a mic next to them, but yeah, sorry, we're spying on you.
So when you picked I Can't Love You Anymore, it was because you felt the people loving that song in the crowd.
Yeah, and it has such a fun vibe live, and I feel like it's one of those love songs that's kind of kooky and real. I mean, the line obviously I wrote it because it was about Ryan, but you're so good looking, you make me sick. That felt real to me. That felt conversational. But yeah, I think it feels good. It's upbeat. I didn't want to pick like a ballad to go into the fall, honestly. There's really no rhyme or reason. I wish I had a science behind it, but it's just a gut.
I always feel like when you come in, or when Ryan comes in, we talk about TV shows that we're watching. It's kind of my wife and I's, after we've both been doing whatever for the entire day, we will have a show, depending on the season, and we'll sit and watch the show. And we're watching House of Dragon, Game of Thrones. Have you watched The Patient yet on Hulu?
No, but so many people have told me it's great, and I love Steve Carell, obviously. But they said that my song "Circles Around This Town" is in one of the episodes.
The murderer's driving into the house, and you hear on his radio, "Circles around," and I'm like, I know her. The murderer's listening to my friend.
He was listening to my song before he went and murdered someone?
No, he is a serial killer.
Oh.
And he has abducted Steve Carell, who is a therapist, to give him therapy to make him stop murdering. But when he's driving back in to the house where Steve Carell's abducted, he's blaring your song. Like, what an honor to have a murderer blaring the song. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. I think you'll like the show, knowing kind of your tastes.
Yeah.
But then also, you ever hear your song in a weird place when you're like, oh, I can't believe that's playing there.
I mean, that's probably the weirdest, but also such an honor, like a Steve Carell
really cool.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, for sure. But I love, like, sometimes when songs get placed in TV shows that are actually, like, really good and have great soundtracks. Like, it's such a cool thing. But yeah, House of the Dragon, for sure, we're invested in.
Do you feel like it's easier to follow than Game of Thrones? Because I do. I feel like maybe I know more because I've watched Game of Thrones. But do you feel like they're making the storylines easier for a novice?
Oh, for sure. Because think about how many storylines were going on in Game of Thrones. There were like 50. Now it's just about the Targaryens. And
it had a lot of hype, but I feel like it's living up to it. I think it's really good.
Yeah. I'm interested with the next episode when they change like forward in time and they change some of the cast members. But yeah, I think they're doing a great job.
It's also really weird because that show especially, there's like some incest stuff. And it's like, you know what I'm talking about? I'm not going to say too much. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know if I should be weirded out by this or because it's thousands of years ago or fiction, I should maybe not be as, but I was just kind of weirded. Were you weirded out by it?
Yeah, that last episode was so uncomfortable, but I'm like, okay, they're just acting. They're
yes,
actors.
I have to do that too. They're not really related.
Yeah.
They're not really related.
But I'm obsessed with that guy that plays Daemon Targaryen, Matt Smith. He was in The Crown. Mm-hmm. He's so good at playing a douchebag.
Mm-hmm. People said the same about me, so I completely relate. What else are you watching? Anything else?
We started the new season of The Handmaid's Tale last night. That's our same gig too, like you were saying about Caitlin. It's like when we're off the road, we come home and we put Hayes to bed, and then we just like cannot wait to watch whatever is popping. But
Has anybody cheated and watched ahead of time and then not admitted it, but then got caught? Or are you guys full integrity with your shows?
He watched the premiere of House of the Dragon without me, but I was like on a long tour run. He did save the finale of Better Call Saul for when I got home. So we try to like keep each other honest. Also, that show, The Rehearsal.
Oh yeah, so it's so funny, weird.
I feel like you
nutty.
would like that show.
I just so what's the word?
You
I would
like
use?
really uncomfortable
I
things.
do. I love it. And I
Scott's
watched
tops.
it and I thought to myself, I'm so jealous. I did not think of this.
Yeah.
And that is like the ultimate compliment. Because I try to create stuff here or on television, and what he had created, I was like, I'm so jealous I didn't do that. That is perfect.
I know.
Do you ever do that with artists, and they have a song that you hear or a record, and you're like, I am so jealous. Not that you want to do it specifically, but you're like, how they captured that right then.
Oh yeah, all the time. I have like songwriter envy. From
Who do you love?
Friends that like, I mean, I remember there was a song on the Brothers Osborne album, and it was called Weed, Whiskey, and Willie. And they wrote it with my friend Laura Belts, who I write a lot of my stuff with. And I was like, I hate you guys for writing this without me. But also, like, you didn't need me to write it. It's brilliant. But yeah, I think like it just makes you excited to go write the next day, though, because your friends are so freaking talented.
It's an odd feeling to have jealousy towards someone, and I can even put this with a friend of mine, but like a happy jealousy, a healthy jealousy. One of my really great friends is Charlemagne the God, who's in New York on The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And he just kills it. And he's so funny, and he does all these shows. And like, I get healthily jealous, and I text him. I'm like, dude, I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm so jealous of that you're getting to do this. And I have never really experienced that because I don't think I was healthy until the last few years. Do you have any artist friends that you get healthy jealous of because they kill it, and you're like, I'm so proud for you, and also, man, that's so cool?
Yeah, for
Or are they
sure.
all jealous of you? That's probably what it is. I got it.
The other way.
No, I think there's definitely people that I have always looked up to that I'm also friends with, and I feel like, yeah, if there's anything beyond just healthy competition, it's just so lame, and we can't like be on a group thread anymore. So yeah, I definitely like. It's a smaller group now than it was like probably 6 years ago, but I think it's because we really don't care about the fame part of it or the flashy parts. It sounds so cliche, but like I think the people I keep the closest do not care about those things. They care about like, did you stand up for something, or were you brave, or did you say something in a song that like I wish I could have said?
Maren Morris is here with us, and she'll be performing this weekend at our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Yes.
Luke Combs, the Black Keys, LL Cool J. There's so much. You can watch our festival today and tomorrow. Watch for free on the CW app or at cwtv.com. Show starts at 9 p.m. Central. And do you know how many songs you're doing?
I think 6.
It's a pretty healthy set there.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And the stage
Vegas.
stage flip. Oh, do you like Vegas in general?
Yeah, I like it when it's short and sweet.
Okay. Can you put me back 2017 before My Church became this massive song that we know now?
Yeah, I mean, I put it out before I was ever signed to a record label. So it was really like independent released at first when people heard it, and then it kind of like made a huge competition between labels of like who was gonna sign me, and I ended up going with Sony.
What is that like? Just having people, I mean, I guess you have found it in different ways, but just having people like, we really want you. We want to show you every way possible. Is that weird? Is it fun? Does it get annoying?
No, I mean, I thought it was cool. One of the labels that actually ended up putting in an offer, like, had passed on me several times. So, yeah, it felt kind of, I don't know. I felt vindicated that it really does come down to a song that really gets people excited. And so, you know, it's funny now we're all good. Like, that person that passed on me twice has since like said, I should have signed you. But everything happened the way it was supposed to. Put My Church out, and before it even went to radio, like Keith Urban had heard it, and he offered me the opening slot on his Ripcord tour that next summer. So things were already rolling before it went to radio. And then by the time my album Hero came out, it was like CMA Fest week. We were doing Bonnaroo, album release. Like, it was a lot of things, like the perfect storm. And I remember that was the week that my church kind of peaked at radio, I think at 7 or 8. So it didn't even go top 5.
Which is crazy.
People don't know that. Like,
because it doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter.
And I think we learned that later, at least I have being here so long, that to me, this song and The Bones probably are the two that I think, when it's like, hey, what are 2 Maren songs? The first ones I think of, My Church and The Bones. And so it's crazy that this song didn't go number 1 when is it your most streamed song? It's probably not, because
My Church?
Yeah, because it didn't it wasn't played on a lot of other like AC or pop stations.
Right. I think The Bones and The Middle are kind of
the middle.
the ones.
That's a good one too. I'm remembering how good she is right in front of my face. I forgot, you're so good. Hey, I want to play Circles Around This Town. So Circles Around This Town, whenever you're putting it out as a single, what was the conversation like? What did you want to say with kind of your re-entrance with the song?
Well, I kind of felt like I was just re-entering music again. And so I think it being really autobiographical, writing it with Ryan and like Julia Michaels, who's another songwriter that really understands that journey of songwriter to artist. It just felt like, I hate this phrase so much, I'm going to kill myself for saying it out loud, but like getting back to my roots. But it did kind of feel like that. It was like less production, less flash, and just like really telling a story, which I think country music is. It's like storytelling. So yeah, I think it just felt like a good, refreshing, like way to get out of pandemic doldrums, and it did that for me. So it felt like a good first step.
All right, you guys can get tickets to see Maren. Just go to MarenMorris.com. You're doing shows all the way up until December. So you're still on the road. You're still doing it all, huh?
Yeah, we have been on the West Coast the last couple weeks. We're doing Hollywood Bowl and Red Rocks in a few weeks, and then we end our whole run at Bridgestone here in Nashville. So it'll be fun to end the tour on like a hometown show.
Well, keep on. I love what you're doing, and
you
know I'm a big fan. Love the new song, and you guys go see Maren, MarenMorris.com, and she'll be at our iHeartRadio Music Festival. And she'll be at our iHeartRadio Music Festival this weekend. All right, Maren, good to see you. There she is, Maren Morris, everybody.